Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to College Station, Texas, the home of the 12th Man, Aggieland, Northgate, and a lot of other great things. And to this morning, as well as of yesterday night, it is also home to USA football. I know it's a very early morning, folks. These kids, though, and these coaches and fans that are here in attendance have been ready to get this one started. We have Team Silver going against Team Red, and it looks like we're going to have another fantastic contest this morning. I want to thank you all again for tuning in with us here for the first time. It might be your first time this morning with us here in College Station, Texas. I'm the Smash Justin Simmons. I'll be your play-by-play voice for the afternoon or morning and early afternoon. Alongside me, the coach, Mark Taplett, and this time I got it right on the first go-around.
Right, thank you,
Good
sir.
morning, Coach. How you doing this morning?
Morning, Justin. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. I know we had a great game yesterday, Team Blue versus Team White. That one ending up 17-10. Hey, it was a really hard-fought game, and that's what I expect to see this afternoon as well.
Yeah, we really had an excellent game yesterday. Really showcased the defense yesterday, so maybe today was going to showcase the offense, but yesterday we really had a good game, and I really like the fundamentals that both the defenses showed.
We're almost set to kick off. Let's give you a look of who to be watching for this contest. On your silver team, you see Adam Kleekamp, Derek Prince, Keyshawn Martinez, Isaiah Barrera, he's a good one at wide receiver, Alec Austin, and Cedric Cornelius Jr. We'll come back to tell you who to watch on the red team in just a second, as the silver team will get the first snap. You see the handoff going up the middle. He gets off of one tackle, continues to run through, and breaks two tackles for a nice little pickup on the first touch of the day. Nicely done by that young man.
It was good to pick up for first playoff scrimmage for the silver team.
Again, USA football uses the spread formation as its base offense. As you see, here comes the up the middle, and again breaks a couple of other tackles, and again just going right through the defense. Impressive, getting a first down on just the second carry of the day. Chase Barrick making the first tackle.
Yeah, Chase did a good run there, but you got to hand it to this offensive line that he has here. They're making some big holes for him to run through.
So far, so good as they continue to move the football in just 2 plays. The quarterback with it, throwing it deep, looking on his left side. That one hanging in the air for a long time, Coach. I know you, as a former free safety, you would have jumped all over it.
I love that. Yeah, he definitely hung that one up way too long. The DB should have made a play on that, but didn't do it. But yeah, he has to get that ball a little bit more zing on it. He had good protection on that, and he's going to have to follow through a little bit better on his passes than he did on that last one there.
Team Silver led by head coach David Brewer, one of the known as a quarterback guru of sorts. I like to call him the quarterback whisperer. His QB1 right now. Hands off. No, he's going to keep it instead, and then he's pulled behind.
Down for a loss there.
That's a huge loss right there. DeAndre Jennings with the tackle, making I would assume that's a sack. It doesn't look like it was a completely designed run.
No, I think you're going to go for a designed run on that. I think the defensive player definitely broke through the line. It looked like a missed assignment there. The line's been doing a pretty good job, but it looked like a missed assignment on that.
Caleb Pruitt, the starting quarterback right now for Team Silver. You have trips to the near-hand side here with the running back to the left. Pruitt having time to drop back, slings it over to the left side. Wide open, man!
Better pass. Good pass. And that's exactly what he has to do on his follow-through, is get that pass to that receiver. He had his protection there and followed through with his protection and made a complete pass there. Good job by the quarterback.
Javante Oliphant making the hit out of bounds, but a little too late. Finding that nice little soft spot in the zone was Trevor Provencher.
Yeah, they ran that 2-3 zone, and they're coming out of it now because I guess they can see this guy can pass. So maybe the quarterback whisperer has done a pretty good job with that quarterback there.
This play going to the outside to the right, not much room to work with. Derek Prince was the running back making the stop, Joseph Cáceres. And that will bring up second down. First time we've seen second down in a little while here, as they have moved the football very quickly from their original starting position on this first offensive series for Team Silver. Trips to the left-hand side this time. Man getting out late.
Yeah, made a couple substitutions late there.
The handoff will go up the middle. Instead, breaking off a couple of tackles and spinning, but not much more, was, again, Derek Prince, the running back, getting a few hard yards and making it very close. I thought it was going to be a first down, Coach, but instead third and short.
I think it's going to be just a little short, but I think they're going to go right back to the running game. maybe the coach maybe surprise them a little bit there and go for a pass this deep in their territory, but maybe just try to pick it up. But I would try to go for a pass. You got 2 downs to work with here.
Well, instead, Coach, they decided to do what you said yesterday with the Seattle Seahawk thing and just kept it on the ground.
Keep it on the ground. Go with dance with the one who brung you.
Right now, that seems to be the case as Prince gets another handoff. He has been the workhorse so far on this offensive series for Team Silver. I was expecting him to air it out, but they've been keeping it on the ground as of late. First down and 10 to go, so not goal just yet. We're on the outside looking in. Pruitt, the quick pitch.
Oh, good defense.
Somebody call the shock doctor because I think we just found one of our plays of the game.
Exactly right.
What a hit. Zachary Gilson.
Gilson on that.
He brought the boom and the shakalaka on that one as he forces the little bit of a fumble. Team Silver, though, they're going to say he was down, and they're going to keep possession of the ball. It is now second and a long ways to go, about 2nd and 15, as they work out the shotgun once again. Pruitt looking over the middle, and no, instead he goes to the outside. I thought he had that open man in the middle in the zone. Instead, decided to go with the one-on-one coverage near the sideline here.
But I think Zach Gibson, who just made that last play, is kind of giving him a little bit of trouble. They just had to double team him on that last play, so I think they're kind of a little bit wary of Zach over there. So it kind of made him think about rushing that pass a little bit.
Clock will stop, the clock will continue to run. 8:40, 3rd down and 16. Pruitt has plenty of time as it's a deep zone coverage. Rolling out to his left, slings it towards the end zone, Coach. That one a hard pass to try to pull down as it was thrown into coverage.
Yeah, he had double coverage over there. That was going to be a hard one to pull off for him. He probably should have tucked that one a little bit and maybe just gotten out of bounds with it, just got a few more yards, but he wasn't going to get that pass in there.
Javante Oliphant, again, making another good play on defense for this red team.
Looks like they're going to go for a field goal here.
We will have a field goal. Ben Raybon will be the kicker. And don't get confused, it is a person wearing a red jersey, but he is just the holder. The snap is a little low. Here comes the kick. Now, it is a live rep.
That was good.
And the points will count. So, showing off a little bit of the leg was Raybon. And we have our first points of the morning. 3-0 your current score at the moment.
That was a decent drive by the Silver team. You know, they didn't get 6 points out of it, but they did manage some points out of that. So they showed a little bit on the ground and a little bit through there. So
the red team coming out ready for its first offensive series of the morning. Here's a couple of players that you need to be looking out for. Look on your right-hand side. Zach Bronkhorst, the coach of the son of the coach, Kendall Ross, Tony Richardson the second, Javante Oliphant. You heard us mention him many times, and Brian Mitchell are a few of the key players for the red team that you need to look for this morning.
I think you're going to be hearing a lot from Oliphant today.
The handoff will go up the middle and meeting a pile. Now we have a little bit of a scrum and then getting pushed back. That defense not getting pushed around. Kieri Huey Kaznave. And I promise, folks, I'm going to try my best to make sure I get that kid's name right by the end of it.
Say that 3 times fast.
I will try. Ryan Ragone on the stop. That one a little bit easier as as the red team has its first offensive series of the morning. Of course, you know, USA football teaching these kids, and we mentioned it yesterday, we'll mention again during the telecast, some of the wonderful things that USA football does with these coaches and these players. As we continue with the action, here's the handoff, and nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Good penetration.
Nowhere to run.
Line there. And, well, I think it's exactly right, Justin. Right now what we're seeing is some good fundamental tackling by the Silver team, and they're really making good penetration and just easy tackles. I mean, it's an easy tackle and get penetration in the backfield like that.
Cole Harris making the stop. Reminds me of that old song, Nowhere to Run, Nowhere to Hide. 7 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this first quarter of play. Team Silver already on the board with the long field goal, 3-0 your current score. The red team driving with its first offensive series, but it hasn't done much in the way of positive yardage.
They're going backwards here, so they're going to have to make some positive moves here.
Complete spread, the rush forward, the pocket collapses. He's able to elude the rush and makes a nice play.
Great catch at that receiver that didn't give up on the play there. Good job by Robert Ferguson.
Ferguson making a great catch. I'm sorry, Coach. I was just lamenting on what you were saying right now. Awesome catch.
That was-
Awesome run by the quarterback to elude the pressure, though.
Exactly, and that was it. Good that the receiver didn't give up on the play, that he kept running his route to help his quarterback out there as well.
Yeah, pulling a little bit of that Tony Romo action. Depending on who you ask in this state, one of the most popular and one of the most hated people in the state of Texas. It just depends on who you're a fan of.
Depends on who you ask. Yeah, it depends on the time of the day and which game they're playing. As long as it's not a playoff game, I guess he's all right.
Oh, bobbled, but they were able to recover was Bronkhorst. That's that you can tell that he is the coach's son. He makes some really good plays. You can probably tell that those were drilled early on in his upbringing, probably during those Pop Warner days and everything else that you would probably be pretty familiar with, Coach.
Yeah, Pop Warner I think is a good foundation for a lot of these guys, and a lot of these guys that are playing out here right now are Pop Warner. Some of Pop Warner kids. Matter of fact, one of the local guys is playing here is one of my kids that actually played for me doing Pop Warner. So it's good to see him out there representing USA football and Pop Warner.
Second down, 14 yards to go. Bronkhorst again, a
They're gonna
high
have to
snap.
work on that snap. That's going to kill them here.
Eludes the rush once again and just throws this one into the ground. That is not intentional grounding. He was outside the tackle
He was
box.
outside the pocket there, so he's okay. But they're going to have to work on that snap if they're going to get anything positive out of this drive. That high snap is going to throw that timing off every time, and also tip the defense off of exactly where they're going to be going with it as well.
Folks, we got wonderful sponsors here at USA Football, and I wanted to mention real quick this portion of the first quarter brought to you by Sports Authority, the official sporting good provider of USA Football. And there's a lot of other sponsors. You'll notice Gatorade in the background, trying to keep everybody hydrated here. The Riddell helmets, the Riddell shoulder pads that the kids are wearing. I was almost going to call them children, but let's admit a lot of these guys are going to be young men here pretty soon.
Well, that's somebody's child.
Yeah, well, this is true. This is true. You're never too old to be somebody's child. There's the handoff. Going up the middle once again and not much doing. This team, Silver, is just flowing to the football defensively right now, Coach.
Right now, they're doing a very good job against the run, against the red team. So if they keep that up, it's going to force the red team to have to pass. So it's going to make them one-dimensional. So they're going to have to try to figure out a little bit better game besides just this running game.
It was Ross trying to get some yardage, but Cole Harriff, already being an impact player.
Okay, there.
Well, the punt.
This snap is
the snap was fumbled. Now again, it's a live kick, but it's not a live play. I'm sorry, it's a live. I had the word. I used it many times already, so excuse me, folks. As that was a very short punt, a little bit of a shank, just like I've shanked my words right now.
It's okay. I think one of the things that was a little bit high snap, maybe you missed that, but it was a high snap again, and that center is going to have to work on that snap on the sideline when he's off the field.
Unfortunately, that was pretty much the problem offensively for Team Red, was the fact that they couldn't get a snap on offense, and Bronkhorst was forced to try to bring the ball down and threw off all the timing. So now we see Team Silver. It's Caleb Pruitt once again at quarterback.
See what they do with their second possession here.
Quick pass to the outside, but even better defensive play made.
Very good, solid defensive tackle there.
That was Xavier Bell on the tackle. Very impressive there, able to shed the block and then wrapped up.
Exactly.
And notice the technique. That's because of the coaching you have here at USA Football. Heads up with the shoulder pad, nice and clean.
I'll have to agree with you there. They're teaching really good fundamentals here, and that's something that's going to follow these kids the rest of their lives.
Pruitt working out of that shotgun once again with two wide receivers to the near side. He'll hold it and start to run. Puts a little bit of a stiff arm, eludes that tackler. And then finally brought down by the free safety coming across the way.
It's a good run by the quarterback for a first down there.
Pruitt showing off the wheels as Brian Mitchell came across and made the tackle. Chase Barrick was the tackler on the play for the red team. Another first down for Team Silver. All they do is move the chains so far, Coach.
I don't know if you noticed on that, Coach, that last play, number 20, Blue, actually had a block out there to really help the quarterback get that first down. So it's good for those wide receivers to keep blocking.
Another handoff, trying to find some room up the middle, and there you see it right there. Team hustle, about 6 or 7 red jerseys getting peeled off that pile. Making the initial making the initial run was Martinez. Making the initial hit was Ryan Mestis.
You know, that's what a defensive coordinator loves to see, swarm toward the ball. You want to see more defensive players on that ball making tackles than just standing around. So that's going to really make that defense coordinator happy.
Twins left out of this spread. Pruitt will go to the near side, though, and the pass is complete off of the curl. Gets one tackle, moves off another one, still spinning, and then finally hit out of bounds. That's going to be a huge first down.
Blue by Hunter Blue. Good job, Hunter. Good catch there by Hunter and good run to finish that for a first down. Didn't give up just with the first guy trying to tackle him. He just kept on going. It was a good job by him.
Dylan Amalori finally coming across the way and pushing him out of bounds, but a big first down for Team Silver with 3:23 remaining in this first quarter of play, looking to add to their already 3-0 lead. Pruitt in the shotgun once again. He'll hand off this football. A nice little run. He is diminutive, but he is also very strong with that run. Another good run by Trevor Provencher.
It was a great run. And also 65 on offense. Dyson Dade made a good block to kind of spring him out there. So that was a really good job by the offensive line as well. And also a little bit good blocking downfield as well by that young man.
Quick note about Provencher. He actually made the U16 USA football national team last year and was the starting freshman running back at his school. So this kid already just showing off how good he can be, and he continues to grow in this program. Pruitt going very deep one-on-one coverage. There's a lot of contact.
Yeah, Mr.
I think that one's going to be called on the defender.
Yeah, Lawrence is going to be called for Lawrence Acedo, I believe that's how I pronounce his name. Yeah, he's going to be called for that. He wouldn't let the receiver get toward the ball. That's definitely going to be called all day. So he's going to have to learn if he's going to play that DB in the deep third like that, where he's going to have to play the ball and not the man.
Cedar from Cedar Park, Texas.
Got a lot of Texas kids represented today.
About 145, I believe, coming from the state of Texas. But again, this is an open regional, so you can come from wherever in the United States as long as you made it through the first round of the developmental phase, which was that non-contact coaching, really trying to teach these kids and trying to judge their character until he started to put those Riddell helmets and pads on the kids. And they got through to this essentially second level. There will be a third level where you get to compete with Team USA against in the International Bowl that will be coming up in January at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. But we'll talk more about that, as right now the Silver team is knocking on Paydort's door. And they put this one over the middle and just goes right through the hands.
Yeah, he's got to catch that. And one thing that a lot of people may be wondering that may be watching us online is that why wasn't that ball placed on the 1 yard line? We got to remember they're still going by high school rules here, so it's just a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. That's why that ball is not going to be placed at the 1 yard line. Now, when they get the international play, they will be playing by a little bit different rules.
Thank you for pointing that out, Coach. I know that the rules do change depending on the levels, as Pruitt will sling this one over to the right-hand side, but just a little bit behind. He's been a little bit off on his targets here for the last two passes.
Yes, he has. He's got a good receiver out there.
That's Isaiah Padetta.
Padetta, but he's got to make sure he connects that ball to him, because I think they're going to start picking on Lawrence over there in that corner there.
Padetta, another one of those Austin area kids. He plays his high school football in Cedar Ridge High School. He's going to be another one of those players that we mentioned that you have to watch here today. 2:40 left to go in the first. You see him looking for Beretta. Instead, he waits.
There. Good job by the quarterback.
Terrific pass for Team Silver. And on the reception was Trevor Provencher. And it's a touchdown for Team Silver, our first touchdown of the morning. What a fantastic pass. Great timing.
Play. What they did there was kind of a crossing route. They ran the receiver, Padetta, across the field, and he brought his running back out of the backfield to the corner of the end zone. That was a great route and great execution by the team there. Good job by the offensive staff there.
It was the perfect play call to go against that man coverage that the defense employed, and they just burned them at the perfect timing right there, right, Coach?
Exactly, and that's what you want to do when a team's playing man on you, is kind of cross your routes up, kind of confuse the defense. And then that's what's when he missed. He made that good, but kind of confuse the defense and just kind of get your man open in the corner there. It's kind of called a pick route, is what we kind of call it on offense. Kind of call it a pick route, and that's exactly what they ran when they ran that man coverage at them.
Well, the PAT is good. That'll bring Team Silver's lead to 10-0. Again, we were talking about that pathway to represent your country. This is such a fantastic thing. I wish they had this when I was starting off playing football, because every kid in the United States that plays high school football is eligible to try out for USA football. It starts off with those regional development camps across the United States. From there, it gets whittled down to a select few who are playing these USA national team developmental games. That's exactly what you see before you here in College Station, Texas. We'll get to that third and final phase, because the kids from these games get selected for those national teams. First snap of this series for Team Red. Nice out pass. The pass is complete. And that'll be a nice little pickup for Tony Richardson II, and that will get him about a yard or two.
Okay, Brian Evans on that tackle there. It was a good job by Brian to limit that gain to just a couple of yards, or 1 yard, matter of fact. So that was a really good job by Brian there to just make sure he didn't get any extra yards out of there, because he was trying to peel back on that route and kind of take off with it. And Brian just made a good tackle on that. Good fundamentals. And I think that's one thing that's stressed with USA football is that they teach these kids good fundamentals.
Cameron Davis, the quarterback right now for Team Red. Running back shifts over to the right-hand side. They're going to hand it off, trying to get up the middle, but the big man, the defensive tackle, making a nice stop on the play for Team Silver. Very impressive by Zarek Scott Buckley, another Austin product. I believe he plies his trade going to Aikens High School. Now, Aikens not exactly known as
a powerhouse in football. Should not known as a powerhouse in football, is it?
No, and even if I messed that one up, he's either going to McNeil High School or Aikens High School. Neither one of them powerhouses in the Austin area, that is for sure. But with players like that, one of those two high schools is going to improve once I figure out which exact high school that young man attends.
Exactly. I think that's going to be a good thing for him to take back to his program to help them to get better.
And this is a good experience for all those kids as the quarterback rolled out of the pressure, buying some time as Davis. What a pass!
Oh, very good pass there and catch there by the receiver.
Making the catch was Tony Richardson the second. Again, one of those players that we pointed out that you had to look for.
Yes, Tony's definitely going to, making catches like that, he's definitely going to be looked at to play at the next level, because that was a great concentration in the middle of traffic to catch that ball and just get some positive yards out of it. Looked like we got some handkerchief on the ground there. Referees are going to call something that may be coming back. I'm not sure.
Well, Richardson, another one of those coaches' kids, his dad has been his coach and his mentor. So when he was asked who influenced him the most, it was his dad. And I bet you his dad has a smile on his face because he probably influenced him on how to make that catch.
Yeah, we had a defensive foul on that particular play, so it looks like it's going to be declined, and that's going to be a first down result of that play. So the penalty's declined, and they're going to go on and just play on.
And that's exactly what they need, as they had some problems with their first offensive series, but the second one is moving very swimmingly.
Yes,
folks, you can follow us on Twitter at USNFT and on Instagram, USNFT, to follow along more. This snap is...
that snap again. Okay, that's going to... They made a great positive play last play, and then, then they lose 15 yards on a snap, so they're going to have to figure out that snap issue.
Well, I know we're playing American football right now, but I believe in baseball they call that the yips. But right now, you have mentioned it, Coach, that's about the third or fourth high snap we have seen from the center. And unfortunately, a lineman's life is not that of glamour. It's usually better not to have your name called if you're one of the five across the line on the offensive side. But when mistakes start happening, your name comes up real quick.
Yeah, well, if they're starting to call the lineman's name out a lot, then that's not a good thing for the most part.
They will not be able to get the last play off of the first quarter. That will end it. So here from College Station High School in College Station, Texas, the first quarter of this game between Team Silver and Team Red, it has a 10-0 lead for Team Silver, as we will move on here to the second quarter of play. We'll have a little bit more for you coming back here in just a little bit, so don't you go anywhere.
No one ever talks about the second quarter. It doesn't get a Nike commercial or a pregame speech. No one writes it on their wrist or on their shoe. There's no falling confetti, no kissing trophies, no breaks or halftime adjustments. Yet, it's the second quarter where you find your rhythm, your tempo, and the schemes that work. It's where you need determination to keep on grinding towards your goal, where you face adversity and rise above, where what matters isn't your critics, but the encouragement of your teammates and the words spoken by your coach. The second quarter is where you keep momentum after a fast start, where each person must continue to do his job every play, every down. It's where steadfast belief in your goal is paramount. Heads Up Football has started fast. 123,000 coaches have been certified. 60% of the game participates. But you don't change the culture of football overnight. It's now the second quarter. So with the ball in your hands, I ask you a simple question. What can we do next?
Folks, you just missed that first play in progress, but don't worry, we got the second play coming up for you here in the second quarter of play. Right now, Team Silver ahead 10-0, but Team Red with the football. We want to thank you again for tuning in with us here on USAFootball.com, watching this USA developmental team game. Again, these kids getting a chance to apply their trade here and show a bunch of wonderful coaches what they got and hope that they can make the final cut for that Team USA and the International Bowl. I'm the Smash Justin Simmons, alongside me the coach Mark Taplett, and we are here once again in this second quarter of this current contest. Cameron Davis, with not much room to work with, still running and makes a lot of stuff happen as he rumbles and stumbles his way towards that first down marker. Torrance Strong on the tackle, coach.
Yeah, Torrance made a good tackle on the saving tackle there. One more broken tackle there, and he would have been probably scoring a touchdown at that point. So that was good on a broken play. And, he was looking to pass, and nothing was open. So he took what the defense gave him. And that's what you have to do as a quarterback sometimes. You got to take what the defense gives you.
Well, unfortunately, it wasn't enough, though, to get that first down. Even though he tried to make a big play, he did his best. But that will bring out the punting unit. And right now, Coach, Team Red just not able to move the football.
No, it just goes to show you those mistakes can really hurt you. That high snap that they still need to work out hurt them. They just had a good positive play where they hit a first down, and then right after that they have a high snap that they lose almost 20 yards on. So negative plays like that is going to always hurt you and hold you back from getting a positive gain out of down. So you need to make sure that one thing that they need to work that snap out and be able to get those positive yards and keep those positive yards going.
Isaiah Humphries was there making the stop. I was trying to say this earlier in the first quarter, is a live rep. The play does not count, but the rep is live. And the points, if there are any points derived from a live rep, like a field goal, the points do count, hence why we have the 10-0 lead. Right now, Team Silver with the football. They have just been rolling through this early morning of play offensively. Let's see if that continues. So far, they've been able to do it on the ground and in the air, so it's going to be tough to stop them. This one, a handoff. No, instead, he keeps it. What a nice little move that was by the quarterback, Adam Kleekamp, as he was able to make the fake and take it around the corner.
Quarterback keeper on there, what it's called a fake dive, and what the running back did a good job of selling the dive, and the quarterback took it around for positive yards. Good job.
Brian Mitchell, the one making the tackle on that one play. This time they actually do hand it off to the running back, and still on his feet and making a couple of spin moves in the hole and able to fall forward. That's something that you always want to see as a running back coach. Isn't that correct, sir?
You want to definitely see positive yards. Anytime that running back gets the ball, you want him running upfield, not side to side if he can help it, but running upfield, keep those legs churning, and he did a good job. He got his team a first down.
He took the words right out of my mouth, Coach. A first down earned after that good run. Make it first down and 10, ball at the 30. Team Silver, the pass going to the outside is complete. Once again, another catch on the outside for Team Silver. All they do is complete passes. Michael Cruz on the catch.
Yeah, and you're starting to see a little frustration on the defensive side of the red team. Now, I think there's a couple of blown assignments that they're kind of seeing over there, and they're kind of getting frustrated. Those kids can't get frustrated, though, because once you get frustrated, you lose focus, and when you lose focus, you lose games.
This will bring up second down and 5. Another short down to work with here for Team Silver. There's the handoff, and going up the middle is the running back as he gets upended was Dean Locklear. Locklear not able to get much more than that as he was hit right around the shin area, but it was a good tackle made by the red team. Now third down and short to go. Third down and 2. 8:57 left to go in this first half of play. Working out of that spread formation, they'll hand it off. No. Again with the quarterback keeper. Nowhere to go as, he is just conjoined by 3 tacklers for Team Red.
Yeah, but one thing about that quarter was a tough run by the quarterback, even though he was a little bit behind the line of scrimmage when he was initially hit. He kept churning to get some positive out of it, make it a short fourth that they want to go for it. I don't know if they will here or not. No, it looked like they're going to punt, but still it was a good job by the quarterback to get something positive out of that.
Chase Barrick staying at home. You see the discipline being shown already, even though they had not a lot of time to work together. The discipline, we haven't seen a whole lot of flags. So nice job by staying at home by the kid, Chase Barrick.
Very good job by the kid there, exactly. And one thing is good about that, we're seeing a lot of good fundamentals that you pointed out there by these kids. Kids staying at home, doing their play in the position. So they, even though the red team's down, they're still playing up, what the coaches have taught them, and that's a good job by them to stay just focused and disciplined on what they're supposed to be doing right now.
And we have something very interesting here as that offensive tackle doesn't seem to be in the right position, but they say go ahead and stay. We're just trying to punt this thing. There's the snap. It was a good snap, and the punt is away. Nice kick as this one's going to hang in the air, and then a little miscommunication on trying to field that punt. Again, USA Safety always tries to make everything safe and keep things safe. That's why we're not doing these live. It's just better this way. As we talk about the coaching staffs here, we have some of the best coaches in the region and in the United States working with these teams. I want to introduce you to the Team Silver, Coach Brewer. David Brewer out of Huntsville High School is the head coach. Matt Hennessy, Sean Hargrove, Richard Purcell, Tyrone Bro, and David Pathenroth. Pathenroth,
yeah.
Your coaching staff for Team Silver, and so far their team ahead 10-0. They have done a wonderful job with this unit. Let's see if their defense can also do as good as the offense has done. Nice pass to the outside.
Good tackle on the outside there. It was a good play by the defensive back there. I can't make that number out, but that was a good play because that could have gone for a whole lot more if he hadn't made that play.
Robert Ferguson on the catch for the red team. As you see the plays coming in from the sideline. Again, these kids do work together during the developmental phase, and they do get some practice time, but not enough to always go no huddle. And they try to keep a nice pace here as they come out in the spread formation. Only one running back in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to each side. Again, that snap high. Trying to run it up the middle, had to break it back into that little outside gap. Made a nice move there to get some positive yardage.
Yeah, quarterback did a good job of getting that ball back down, but still that's going to hurt them in the long run if they can't get that snap issue worked out. They need to really work on getting that snap down to that quarterback so he can run his offense the way he needs to run it.
Alexander Rulas, the running back on that play, able to bounce it out to the outside. Good vision shown by the young running back. As the red team breaks the huddle, and they jog up to the line. 3rd down and 3 to go. 6:37 left in this first half of play. As the red team is trying to get a first down here. And it's not going to happen like that.
That's going to another negative yard play there, so that's going to hurt them. They're going to end up punting the ball again. Seems like just when red starts to get a little bit of positive going, they take 2 steps back, so that's something they're going to have to work on. I know we got a lot of ball to play here, but they're going to have to get something going more positive if they're going to be competitive in this game.
Yeah, Malcolm Rogers not given much room to work with there, and the red team will be forced to punt once again.
You have 4 plays and out, and the thing that you got to look at, Justin, is that you're keeping your defense out there a little bit too long, and especially in this heat. You're going to wear your defense down, and and hopefully, well, not hopefully, but the Silver team is probably going to take advantage of that. You keep your defense out there, they're going to take advantage of that. And you keep on 3 plays and out, you're going to wear your defense out.
Well, thankfully, we have a great sponsor in Gatorade to keep everybody hydrated, and we know that Gatorade is scientifically proven to help hydration. As this punt, unfortunately, though, is shanked. Nice heads-up play, though, to field it.
Yeah, that was a bad punt, and it's going to put the Silver team in positive yards right off the bat there. They're going to be in good position, not far from scoring here, so they need to, red team has some things that they need to work on. They've shown some positives on defense, but right now they're really sputtering a little bit on offense, and they're making the defense have to work a little bit too hard today.
Right now, things just are not going well for the red team. With this very early start for a morning play coach, I can imagine that might throw off the schedules and the timing for these kids. They might have not gotten a lot of sleep after watching that game last night. Team Silver with the football right now, stepping up in the pocket and making a beautiful throw.
Play, but you
just not beautiful enough.
No, it was a good call. The receiver got past the defensive back there, but the quarterback just didn't make that connection that he needed to make. But that's what you needed there. But you need to make sure you make that connection. When you have a receiver open like that, you've got to make that connection. Cameron
Davis just failing to hit that wide open receiver in stride, and they'll make it 2nd down. This time they'll keep it. No, instead they'll try to run it. Helmet pops up.
Comes off there.
And flags start to fly.
I think we may have a face mask there.
Well, that'll be our very first penalty of the game.
I think it'll be our second. We had one earlier that was declined, but.
Oh, that's right. The very first series of the game. We haven't seen anything major, though, This is probably the first time we've seen something like this, and this will be a personal foul face mask.
Yeah, that's why that helmet came flying off there.
Ryan Mestis, probably one of the players that got his hands around that face mask.
Sure did.
But this is not something that you want to give the Silver team.
No,
they haven't really had problems moving the football. Now you're giving them free yards.
Giving them free yards. You give them another 15 yards after you made a pretty decent stop there. But probably the reason they made that good stop because they did rip the helmet off there. But no, you don't want to keep giving them positive yards there. So some of the body language that we're seeing from the red team right now is not good.
Quarterback working out of that pocket, and the pocket collapses very quickly. This is exactly what the red team needs.
Yeah, they need to take some chances there and collapse that pocket and make some plays on that quarterback to get some negative yards on the Silver team.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Jacob Craig. He was the first one in on that quarterback sack of Adam Kleekamp. Kleekamp has shown that he's pretty good throughout this contest. He would have liked to have had that last pass back. That would have probably been 6, but this is good confidence shown by the youngster as he hands it off to Provencher. And Provencher not able to get much yards. And now we have some more dirty laundry here.
I saw another face mask. I'm not sure, but I think I saw that running back's head go down. And usually when it goes down like that, that's usually a face mask because his head went down. And I'm not sure, but I'm seeing it look like a face mask on the defense to me. We're going to have another 15-yard penalty, I'm believing, here.
Folks, if you're in the area, it's always free to attend a USA football game, and that's because we have these wonderful sponsors. The second quarter brought to you by St. Vincent Sports Performance, the official sports medicine partner of the U.S. national team, and Just Play Solutions, the proud provider of the U.S. national team development games digital playbook. It is true, an ex-college athlete has developed a beautiful app that allows all these kids to download the playbook for USA football directly to their cell phone. So there is no reason that they do not know the plays because these kids always have their cell phone on them.
Exactly, and that's a good app for them that helps them keep connected to the game.
Good for the coaches, too.
And we did have a penalty of face mask on that last play there, so that moves the ball down 15 yards down on that last play.
Jimmy Allen, the running back there, scooting around that right-hand side and getting some positive yardage on that run. But again, Team Red, unfortunately for them, they haven't been able to move the ball offensively. Defensively, they held into this, hung on in this game, but right now they're just giving up too many yards due to the penalties.
Now they're really shooting themselves in the foot right now. They're having a lot of negative plays with the high snaps and with the 2 major penalties. That's just really just kind of killing them right now.
Kleekamp with the handoff. No!
Great defense there.
Really good defense as the safety flies on in. That was Jacob Craig.
Good job by Mr. Craig there. Good penetration in the backfield and make that tackle, wrap up that running back without a gain there. It was going to be right back at the line of scrimmage, so it was a great job by Jacob.
Denerick Prince trying to get some positive yards. It just did not work out there. 3rd down and long on the outside as the ball is spotted on the 15-yard line. Kleekamp with the handoff, and again, not much room to work with as he's brought down from behind the line of scrimmage. That was good defense there, never giving up. Making the tackle was the defensive back, and that was Xavier Bell. Great job by Bell to not give up on the play. He made a very tough tackle, a solo tackle at that.
Yeah, but number 75, DJ Keenan, really kind of disrupt that whole thing by making penetration into the backfield and making that making that running back run a little bit wider than he had planned to run and giving the defense time to collapse on him and adjust to the play. So that was a great job by the defensive lineman to really Keenan to come in there first and make that initial play there to cause negative yards on that play. Good job by Keenan and the defensive player as well.
Well, even with the penalties, the red team able to hold and force a field goal. This will bring on Raybon again. He's already shown his leg off once. That one had plenty of distance, and it had the accuracy. Add another 3 points to the big scoreboard over here in the north side of the end zone. And that will make the score 13-0 in favor of Team Silver here in College Station, Texas. Want to talk about that red team coaching staff. They're going to have a lot of work ahead of them here. John Bronkhorst, he is the head coach from Dallas Lutheran. Blake Mudd, his assistant, along with Peyton Hobbs. Notice the 2 T's there, Coach. Got that one fixed for you.
Right. 2 T's.
Armando Jacinto and Bob Jones, all a part of that coaching staff.
Yeah, they got a really good staff there. Some good mix of some high school and college there. So it's really a good job that they're doing with these kids right now. And it's a good job that good opportunity for these kids to actually work with college coaches so they can see what's expected at the next level.
Well, talking about something really good is those uniforms. They are always looking sharp, and those are brought to you by Siege Sports, also bringing you the second quarter that you've seen here in the action. Siege Sports making custom jerseys for the U.S. national team, and when they get to those games in Arlington, you'll see some really cool stuff. Getting forced out of the pocket, still making something out of nothing. Here comes the speed. Look at him make a cut. Still on his feet.
Good job by the quarterback. Receivers were covered downfield. So again, that red team is taking advantage of what the silver team is giving them. You can't make a big play downfield. So okay, take it, just tuck it and run.
Say hello to Cameron Davis. Another big run, making something out of nothing. But only a minute 10 left to go here in this first half of play, and the red team really needs some momentum to go into halftime with. Let's see if they can get that score. Maybe that big play will spark that much needed fire that they need. Cameron Davis working out of the shotgun. Has some time, still has some time, trying to make something happen. Flush from the pocket. Throws to a wide open receiver.
Way to come back on the defensive back there. Good job, number.
That was Dylan Tillison making the stop. Or excuse me, that's right, there are two number 11s. That's Cedric Cornelius Jr. Making the stop. What a play, though.
That was a great play by him. He had actually gotten beat on the play, and then actually he did is came back and made the play because he had gotten burned on it. The receiver was open, and he read what the quarterback was doing, so he came back and knocked that ball down. So it was a good recovery by the defensive back.
That's the exact word I was searching for right there, Coach. That recovery speed. 44 seconds left. Team Red could have really used that big play. Instead, they'll hand it off as they keep it on the ground. Lots of room to work with up the middle, and that'll be enough for a first down. But the clock continues to run.
Yeah, they're running out of time here. They're going to have to do a hurry up here, and I think that's what they're trying to do.
And here you see the hustle and bustle from Team Red.
And he's noticed on the clock that on the first down it stops until they spot the ball, and then the clock will start back. It was a running play, but once they spot the ball, that clock will start back. It looks like the red team is going to take a timeout here as well.
Well, you saw the red team trying to go with the hurry-up offense, and there was a little bit of a miss spot. Everybody's still in preseason mode. Most of these kids cutting their summer short for a chance to play with Team USA. And talking about some of those kids, Team USA has graduated some fantastic players that go on to the next level, Coach, and we can take a look at right here as you see some of the guys that are currently now in the NFL. Currently now, a little redundant, excuse me. Todd Gurley, the running back for the St. Louis Rams. Famous Jameis Winston, national championship winning quarterback out of FSU. Malcolm Brown, hometown kid out of Austin, who played his football at Texas. Ty Montgomery, Alex Carter, Bryce Petty. The Baylor fans will not let us hear it.
No.
They'll let us hear it if we don't mention him. Michael Bennett.
Bears.
Stephen Tuitt, and of course the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, probably one of the most exciting players in the NFL. Definitely one of the most exciting players to ever play college football.
Exactly. I'm glad that kid, he came back from some problems that he had, and they've given him a second chance to really prove himself. So that's been a good job for him to take advantage of that and do well with it.
Well, folks, you can always tell us what you think, or if you want to see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, you can follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at USNFT. And you can see some really cool stuff there as the red team is looking to make some points happen here. Still flushed out of the pocket once again, making something happen with his feet, but he doesn't get out of bounds. Does Cameron Davis. Good tackle by the Team Silver. That was Ryan Tolbert on the stop. And another timeout has to be used here by the red team.
Yeah, they're running out of time here, but that was a good move by the quarterback to get some positive yards out of that.
Cameron Davis has done that this entire series, Coach. You see a pass play called. It's defended well by Team Silver, but he has nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, he's having to do a lot of it with his legs there, so his offense is going to have to help him out a little bit more there because you're going to wear your quarterback out, and you're going to become pretty much one-dimensional if you have your quarterback running all the time, and they're going to start keying on that. The defense is going to start keying on that if they're not careful.
Well, they're going to take this chance to get one of those much-needed water breaks in here for both teams. It's hot out there, Coach. Don't let the lack of sunshine fool you just yet. We are in the state of Texas. That means a lot of humidity, and of course, playing on that field turf. Well, that just adds an extra element of heat for these players out there.
It does. That heat's going to bounce up off that turf. You're exactly right. So maybe the fans that we have here and the players can take advantage of our sponsor Gatorade and make sure they get hydrated out there.
Well, for USA football, I know the score is a little one-sided right now, but we still have a second half of football to look forward to. But it's not necessarily about who wins or loses this game, truthfully. It's all about player development and building some character and getting a chance to build your skills with some of the best coaches available in the United States.
Exactly right, Justin. It's about really development, and that's something that these kids could carry with them all their lives, their football careers.
Cameron Davis, he's going to go with the one-on-one coverage that turns into double coverage and hangs it up there. A much-needed touchdown for the red team.
Yes, he did come down with a good touchdown, red team.
What a catch that was made by Robert Ferguson right in the back of that end zone. And that will make it 13-6 with 18 seconds left. Threw it almost essentially what turned out to be double coverage.
Yeah,
The help coming over a little too late, though, unfortunately.
I think what happened on that play looked like the defensive back was concentrating on trying to take the ball away from him more than just trying to knock it down. It's kind of one of the things we saw last night. Instead of not making the play, sometimes if you can't make the play, just knock the ball down instead of trying to make a play on the ball.
Here's the point after a touchdown as Charles Cincetti will place it right through the uprights, and it is good. So the red team back in this one. That's exactly how you want to go into halftime.
Exactly.
18 seconds left to go in this first half of play, folks. 13-7 now is your score. Team Silver still in the lead, but not by much. And maybe Mr. Momentum will be changing his address very shortly here.
You know, it's interesting, Justin. It seemed like almost the exact same situation we had last night. The team that was down scored right before going in for halftime to kind of change the momentum going into the second half. So let's see if that's going to hold true today.
Well, right now, I think a lot of that praise can go to Cameron Davis. He will definitely be one of those impact players that we will probably be talking about later on this today.
Exactly. Cameron put his team on his back and said, "Come on, follow me."
Terrific job by that young man, showing exactly what you need as a quarterback. A lot of poise and able to make plays when everything around you is starting to crumble.
Exactly. Good job by that young man.
Well, Team Silver will come out. Coach, if you're the head coach of Team Silver, you have the lead. You just gave up a touchdown. Are you trying to get into position to score right before half, or are you just content with just taking the knee and letting it go?
I think he's going to try to get something out of it, not so much points, but you want to get some positive yards out of this. You want to go back into halftime with something positive to look forward to after giving up a touchdown. And a big play like that would kind of really set the tone for your team right there. Good job by the quarterback and the receiver there to move the ball upfield there. Good job.
Lee Camp with a nice pass. And you ask and you shall receive, apparently, as that worked out very nicely for Dylan Tillison, another one of the team captains here today. So a timeout will be taken here with 11 seconds left to go, and it looks like Team Silver is not content on resting on its laurels.
You know, they've got a big play out of that. So, hey, you know, they moved the ball a little bit further than they probably thought they were. So they're going to take a timeout and say, hey, maybe we can get some more points out of this, move the ball a little bit more. So, yeah, I think they're not going to be content just going in with just having some positive yards. They're going to try to see if they can get some more score out of this, at least get into field goal range where they can give their kicker an opportunity to get some more points out of this before the half.
Well, we talked about those regional development camps, and that's what we have right here in front of you. This all started back in April. As you see, they started in Mission Viejo, California, and moved on to Nashville, Tennessee. From there, Jersey City and Boston, and then the later part of April to Atlanta, GA, and of course Oklahoma City. And then in Indy and Minneapolis, they cover all the regions, Denver, Milwaukee. They were in Baltimore, Seattle, and Kansas, and Chicago. And from there, from those regional development camps, are the kids that you see before you here now. As Kleekamp gives the fake, puts it on the ground, and stays with it, trying to cut back, and instead he's hit by about 5 red jerseys. Takes a big hit. Yeah, and you probably didn't want to see that because he could have easily ran out of bounds.
You don't want to see your quarterback take hits like that, so he's going to He's going to be playing at the next level. Even at this level, he's got to learn to get out of bounds on that. Matter of fact, he may be a little bit shaken up on that.
Yeah, he took a pretty big hit. It was a clean hit, though. You saw him lower the shoulder.
Very good clean hit, good fundamental tackling with shoulders, and that's one thing that heads-up football really stresses is that the proper fundamental techniques in tackling now, so it just doesn't hurt the tackler, but also the person who's being tackled.
There's a correct way to tackle and an incorrect way to tackle, but we have seen nothing but clean tackling at this event, and that's a testament to the coaches in the USA football program and developing these kids as they get ready for international competition. Again, USA football, the sport of American football growing around the world, it is growing. Team USA surprisingly doesn't always win, despite that 85-0 win over France. They don't always dominate. Canada, a strong team, and of course a lot of the teams like Germany, Norway, the Polish, they are pretty good at American football. They have a zest for it as the popularity of the sport continues to grow overseas.
Yes, and as our sport is growing internationally, a lot of people are becoming better players now than they were in the past. So you have teams like Japan and France who are going to start to be better teams than they were in the past. So you're exactly right. The popularity of the sport is really growing, and as a result of that, those kids around the world are becoming better players.
And we have a timeout taken, probably trying to ice Ben Raybon. We've already seen that he has the definite leg to get this field goal even from this distance.
Yes, he does. It's going to be interesting to see what this young man does with this, but if he can really make this, it's going to show a lot of coaches out there that may be listening or watching this that, hey, maybe we want to consider giving this kid a try at the next level once he gets there.
And of course, everybody gunning for that position on on Team USA, and right now Ben Raybon showing that, hey, maybe he should be essentially the first team kicker to represent his country. And the cool part about representing your country is that one of our sponsors, Upper Deck, makes a football card. The very first football card that any of these kids will have if they make the USA national team will come from Upper Deck. And I remember back in the day always collecting those cards, and that's a very cool keepsake to have.
Yes, it is. Very good for these kids to have a card as a memento of their first time here. So it's going to be short. So it's going to not make it. It hit the distance, but not enough height to make that.
He's trying to line drive that one. He had a long way to go, but that will end your first half of play on the missed field goal. However, Team Silver can go up with its head held high after making some moves. They still have the lead 13-7 as we head on to halftime here in our first game of this morning for the USA developmental games. We'll have our halftime coming up here shortly. We'll recount what has happened during this game and a lot more information for you here shortly on USAFootball.com.
Eyes up. See what you hit. Good job, John. Let's go. Head up. Squeeze. Sink. Hands.
When coaches get to the high school level, I think they assume that everybody who plays knows how to play, and they're going to be under Friday Night Lights, and everything's going to be great, and it's just like it is on TV, and it's not like that. You're going to get kids that have never played before, and you're going to get coaches really that have never coached before. You really need to be able to teach coaches how to coach.
Through the Heads Up program, what you do, 3 pillars, as they say. 1, concussion awareness. 2, how to truly, properly fit equipment. Finally, here's how we're teaching the ultimate aspect of contact in tackling.
This is the basics and the fundamentals. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought as an educator, this was a curriculum for football.
Feet. Squeeze. Sink. Hands. Step.
It was really a no-brainer to get involved with USA Football and the Heads Up program.
They go through a progression of tackling. They're actually learning how to keep their head up, not to lead with their helmet, and they're taught that from the beginning.
It's limited the amount of concussions that we've had this year, basically because we have worked on heads-up tackling from day one.
Squeeze. Sink. Hands. Right foot. Running through. Sink. Hands. Squeeze. Feet. Explode. There you go. Head up. Feet. Eyes up. Shoot. Head up.
The coaches have completely bought in and endorsed what we're doing.
Come on, get those elbows tight and high.
What we really didn't anticipate was how aggressive that the Coaches Association here in Virginia went after it.
saw the need to make the game better and safer, and they ran with it.
Go heads and eyes up, heads and eyes up.
The days of popping the old smelling salt or the ammonia tabs are gone, and that's a good thing.
Heads Up Football has allowed concussions to become a topic of conversation in a positive way.
Well, I just think it's standardized everything. It becomes a much more consistent way of teaching the game.
This kind of instruction keeps my staff in line.
They're seeing a very distinct improvement and reduction in injury. And I think that says a lot about the program.
What this has really done, because we're hands-on with the parents now, we're showing them how the progression goes, we're teaching them the terminology as well, it brings a level of comfort to them.
I think it's really good that all the coaches are learning proper techniques on how to teach these kids to do it right.
I'm so relieved that they're teaching this to these kids at such a young age, because I was never taught that.
In our family room, Britton will show us and demonstrate on his dad, not his mom.
We believe in football. We believe in Friday night lights, Saturday afternoons, any given Sunday. And we believe in where all of that began. We believe heroes are made in the fourth quarter, and that every kickoff is a fresh start. We believe in pregame rituals and halftime speeches. We believe the best 11 will always beat the 11 best. We believe in teaching fundamentals and building character. We believe in educated coaches and engaged parents. We believe in creating a positive experience for all and in keeping the game fun. We believe in team. We believe in the lineage of Bryant, Grockney, Lombardi, and Dad. We believe you don't need a stadium or yard lines to have a game. We believe that even greater than the heroes on the big screen are those you give a ride to home from the game. We believe there is nothing more American than football, and that football gives us all something to believe in. Teamwork, confidence, pride. We are USA Football. We believe the scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story. We believe in the football family and that we can achieve a better, safer game together. We believe in football.
Well, welcome back out of halftime, folks. Get ready for this second half of play as the red team will take the field as the defense and Team Silver will be the offense. Or excuse me, the red team will actually be the offense. They'll be going from right to left. Team Silver will be the defense going from left to right. And we have a quick correction to make. The man that caught the touchdown for the red team to make the score 13-7 was actually Mitchell Moeller, number 19 for the red team, as the first play from scrimmage in this second half is a run up the middle for not much gain. Want to welcome you back to this broadcast of USA Football, this USA developmental game here in College Station, Texas, on the campus of College Station High School, here the home of the College Station High School Cougars. I am joined alongside my color commentary for the early morning. I keep on thinking it's afternoon because it already feels like 100 degrees outside. The coach, Mark Taplett, and coach knows a thing or two about the football played here in this area as the ball is passed to the outside, but the hands just were not there for the receiver.
I think you got the receiver again looking upfield before he secures the ball. One of the things coach is going to be looking for is that you can see that was Tony Richardson the second that dropped the ball there. Tony going to learn how to hold on to that ball there before you start heading upfield.
That's a little bit of a shame because Richardson has actually played pretty good so far.
Yes, he has. He's played a pretty decent game now, but he's going to have to. He's wanting to go to the next level and really just keep those fundamentals sound. Hold on to the ball first thing, secure the ball.
11:42 as we just got into this third quarter. The pump fake to the outside. Not much room to work with after that because it'll be a quarterback sack from the outside. Nice wrap up and a tackle there for the Team Silver, coach.
Yeah, Team Silver had a blitz going on, a corner blitz, and they just didn't have enough people covering on it. They totally missed an assignment over there. The linebacker came unassailed, and as soon as that quarterback made that fake, and as soon as he tried to make his next play, the defensive man was right there in his face. So they're going to have to make sure that they make an adjustment for that, for that blitzing linebacker when they're going to go back to pass like that.
Logan Brown looking to make a name for himself as possibly one of those Siege Sports impact players of the game. 11 minutes left to go in this second half of play as the punt is just a little high and it goes over the punter's head. Again, it's a live rep.
He had to stop where he can go back up, or he can go back up. I was about to say, I thought he had to stay where he was.
Well, it is about practice and making sure that they get this done right. As he drops the punt, and it's a high one. Let's see if it will be fielded cleanly. And no, that has been an issue also. But again, they don't return them, and they probably they only have a minimal practice time to work with. This is not the most important portion of the game to work on here for USA Football.
No, that's not one of the things that they're really stressing right now. Plus, it's one of the, if you really do a little research, one of the biggest places that a lot of players get injured is on kickoff returns and punt returns. So they want to kind of minimize that, so they just don't really stress that during this time.
And of course, we want to thank our sponsors during halftime, able to get us some nice drinks and such, and that's because Marriott is the official hotel partner of USA Football and the USA national teams, and of course Field Turf, which is the official field building grant partner of USA Football. We also have our third quarter sponsors in just a little bit, as this football is trying to make a Superman dive. He loses it, but the ground cannot cause a turnover.
Cannot cause a turnover.
Red team still claims that they have it, though.
They can claim it all they want, and ground, as you stated, Justin, cannot cause a fumble.
Derek Prince, the running back for Team Silver. As we do get back to those sponsors real quick for our third quarter, Upper Deck, the official trading card sponsor of USA Football and the U.S. national team, and then, of course, Volt Athletic, the official strength and conditioning solutions partner of the U.S. national team. Volt Athletic actually giving them a full workout program, taking care of their nutrition and such for these athletes to help their body with recovery, with the strength, and getting the full energy that they can get out of these kids for the weeks that they work with them.
Exactly. That's one of the things that you've got to really focus on is strengthening conditioning. And one of the things that we kind of talked about last night is that this is a year-round thing now. They just can't try to get in shape before the season starts. They've got to be able to condition year-round, and that's one of the things our sponsor really does a good job with.
Quarterback flush from that pocket, working towards the outside, makes a move, and we've seen a lot of nimble quarterback work. This time Carlton Potter on the run.
Yeah, it was a good run by there, and Lucas Lamb made the tackle on that, came up and made the tackle on that, keep the quarterback from going any further, but it was a good run by the quarterback.
9 minutes and 28 seconds left to go in this third quarter of play. Team Silver up 13-7 as they look to try to score one more time. Team Silver has been very dominant on offense. We'll hand this ball up the middle. Breaks another tackle, still spinning and still on his feet. And that was Jimmy Allen on the run.
Yeah, it was a good run by Jimmy Allen. You got also on that one thing you got to see defensively. Red team right now is having some confusion on defense right now. So Ben Cole made the stop on that, but they're still having a little bit of confusion on getting players, the substitutions in and off the field there. So a little confusion on defense for Red.
Shotgun formation with a handoff going back up to Allen up the middle. He's able to bust off some tacklers and then finally get brought down at around the 25-yard line going in. Another hard run by Jimmy Allen there, Coach.
Very good hard run there, but one thing you got to notice that on Justin is the offensive line for Silver is really dominating the line of scrimmage right now. They're really pushing Red back, giving those running backs and quarterbacks time to get upfield. So that's one thing that you really want to look at is a good, strong line.
Zachary Gilson making that stop. They'll hand it off to Allen again. He cuts it to the outside, nowhere to go, and finally gang tackled as he's still able to pick up a couple of yards.
Yeah, he did a good job getting, just a little minimal gain there, but still positive yards on. That's one thing that you want to look for on every play is positive yards, and I can always work with positive yards as a coach.
Chase Barrick with the stop as Team Silver continues just to roll on through this red team defense thus far. Shotgun formation out of that spread with trips to the near sideline. Big target in number 80. They go with the one-on-one coverage, a collision there, but a nice catch by the wide receiver, able to hang on.
It's good focus by the receiver there.
Lewis Lamb with the hit. Jimmy Allen, though, it's not Jimmy Allen. I can just see the back of his number as he trots off the field right now. He did take a little bit of a lick. That was Jimmy Allen. He did make the reception.
Yeah, good job by him. Good concentration by the receiver there to hold on to the ball. In spite of a big hit there by the defense.
Yeah, hanging on to the football can be difficult when you hear those footsteps. This time they'll hand it off to Prevencher, and he gets hit a little hard in the hole.
Well, you had a little fake dive there by the quarterback again. I think he kind of fooled you there a little bit, Justin. The quarterback did a fake dive, and he took the ball around the end there.
And Chase Barrick, though, wasn't fooled as he makes another hit in the hole. 2nd down and 3. As he tried to give it to Prevencher again, and good this time he gets some positive yards.
The ball is a fumble.
A fumble in the end zone. It depends on what the referees are going to say. Was he down before he stretched?
I thought he was down, but just going to see what the referees called it, but I thought he was down.
Well, you can see it here on the instant replay, Coach. As SUV TV, who's doing our production work, is providing us some fine angles and some fine views here. We see it here we have the benefit of instant replay, and right now we can tell you that his knee was down.
He was definitely down, yeah.
Before the ball came loose, but unfortunately those referees have to take it in real time.
They don't have the benefit of instant replay, so they've got to get together and see what each other saw. So that's one of the things that a good crew would do is get together and say, hey, what did you see? What did you see? And so hopefully they'll come up with the right response of what they should do here.
Well, this portion of the football game brought to you by Upper Deck.
Oh, they're calling it a touchback. They're calling it a fumble.
The official trading card partner of USA Football and the U.S. national teams. I bet you the Upper Deck guy who is shooting here probably got a good shot of that
Lewis
one.
Lamb was the one who came up with the recovery on that for the red team.
And Lewis Lamb making a big impact play. He might be one of those impact players for C Sports. I mean, we already talked about Chase Barrick a lot. Cameron Davis on the red team, despite them being the deficit, another one of those guys that is definitely earning some praise for impact playership. And, of course, for Team Silver, they have a whole slew of players. Trevor Prevencher right now, one of my favorites, as one of those impact players. As the red team gets some life after... Again, we had the benefit of instant replay. We thought that the running back was down. Instead, it was a fumble. And Chase Harriff, once again, another one of those guys that we can consider an impact player, making his mark.
He's definitely one you want to look at down the road as well. He's going to be a good one.
6:50 left to go in this third quarter of play. Team Silver still has a 13-7 lead, but Team Red given a little gift. They get that turnover on the touchback, and now they are trying to move the ball forward. Looks like the blitz might be coming late. Instead, they drop back into coverage. Flush from the pocket is Cameron Davis, And he's been able to make some plays with his legs, Coach, but not much there.
No, the defense basically went back into a 2-3 zone on that to make sure the quarterback didn't get that ball off. So it was a good job by the defense to play the zone because they knew the red team was probably going to try to pass on that. So they played the zone, perfect 2-3 zone on that, and forced, a sack back there in the background.
And
in the backfield.
James Dodd on the stop for Team Silver. As you can see, even with the mistake, though, Team Silver continues to roll. Their defense discipline, not falling for any of the fakes and making some easy stops thus far. Cameron Davis and the rest of the red team are going to need a big play here as it is 3rd down and about 8 to go. Make it about 9.
Yeah,
Davis
with that blitz again.
has to
They
step
come
up.
back with that corner blitz. Yeah, they couldn't pick it up. It's a good job by the defense. They knew that they were going to have to go for a pass on that, so they came with that linebacker blitz. That linebacker stunted to the middle of that offensive line, and it freed up that free safety to come in and make that tackle. Good job by the defense.
And you see on this instant replay, Ryan Ragone, the man bringing down Cameron Davis, and that will force the red team to punt from their own end zone.
Yeah, that's sad. They had an opportunity on a turnover there to try to get some positive points out of that, and they didn't do that. One of the things that you really want to look at when you have that turnover ratio is that you get positive points. That's not that you get turnovers, but you get points out of it. That's what wins games, is getting points off those turnovers. Just not getting the ball, but doing something with it once you get it.
The clock continues to run as the red team tries to figure out who needs to be on the field here. Again, a very early start time. It kind of reminded me of middle school football. I was waking up at 7 a.m. to get ready to come play. 4:58 in the snap, and there's the punt, end over end, not very far, as it will be fielded in red team territory, as Team Silver will come back out to see if they can finish off where they left off. That drive stopping short last time. This time I'm pretty sure Team Silver thinking end zone. And right now that running attack, we've seen Jimmy Allen come on strong here in this third quarter. You've already seen Trevor Provencher. He's done his thing. Carlton Potter, currently the quarterback. We've seen him. We also saw Caleb Pruitt and Adam Kleekamp. They both made their mark on this game. In fact, I believe it will be Potter coming back in to start this this offensive series here in the third quarter, and it is Carlton Potter as QB1.
Wide open. Get him the ball. Oh, bad pass.
Unfortunately, we had just mentioned his name as he was trying to find Denerick Prince, who ran a very good route.
Very good route, yeah. Yes, he did.
And you can tell already Potter has his hands on his hips and kind of put his head down and brushed it, hoping he could have that one back. All he can do is just try to hit it better the next time.
Yeah, well, right now, Justin, I'm really impressed with this Silver offensive line of Acevedo, Dade, Wilson, Williams, and Lambert, just doing a good job of maintaining the line of scrimmage for the quarterback and the running backs.
Well, that pass a lot better, and don't worry, that's not where he's down. He's down
forward progress
with the forward progress. But Javante Oliphant, again, another big play by him, as he has been in on a lot of stops for the red team.
Oliphant is really getting his work out today.
And despite the Team Silver's dominance with the football offensively, this is only a 13-7 ball game, as the red team is
still a pretty close game. You're right.
Been able to maintain themselves here. Going deep, and the crossing route looked like there was a little miscommunication between the receivers more so than the defense.
I think the receiver didn't run that route completely the way he was. He was supposed to be at a certain spot on that. Quarterback's going to be looking at a certain spot to throw that ball, and that receiver has to get to that spot in time to get that ball, and he just didn't get there in time. I think the quarterback did a good job of what his line was giving him, but that receiver has to get to that spot that he's trying to throw it to.
I'm surprised that they haven't really tried to target the big tight end. You see him there, number 80, Alec Austin.
That's a big body kid. I'd be going to him more. I know that.
And let's see, he has the coverage that he might want, but having to get out of the rush and throw on the run, and you can tell that threw off his timing. He was able to evade, but the accuracy, he wasn't there to set his feet.
No, he didn't be able to set his foot there, but I still say again that receiver's going to have to help his quarterback out a little bit more on that. He's going to have to run that route, and once he sees the quarterback gets free, he's going to have to go downfield a little bit more because that pass is going to be coming hot. So he's going to have to get downfield just a little bit more to help his quarterback out.
Hunter Blue was the intended receiver on the play. I don't know about your philosophy, Coach, but I remember back in high school, a lot of my coaches were, well, if it hits your fingers, you better catch it.
That's my philosophy too. It hits any part of your hand, you better catch that ball.
Well, again, Team USA Football brings in some of the best coaches from around the United States to help these kids, but intangibles are just one of those things that sometimes cannot be coached.
No, you're right about that.
As this run was going to be stopped for a loss, as Alexander Rulas was trying to make something out of nothing but had nowhere really to go. Ian Archer with the stop for Team Silver. 3 minutes and 34 seconds left to go in this third quarter of play. It'll bring up second down and 14 for the red team.
Okay, the red team is going to have to really do something more positive here. They're really going backwards here and have been pretty much the second half, so they're going to have to try to capitalize on what they did the first half by doing something a little bit more. But defense really staying at home. I think we may have a hold here on the offense here. It was a good play.
Max Gonzalez currently the quarterback for the red team. Again, another handoff to Rulas and not able to get anything really off it as James Dodd was there on the stop.
I think that's going to go, personal foul, face mask against the Silver team. I think that's going to be the first penalty that we see on Silver team today.
Definitely the first major penalty that we've seen on the Silver team. Personal foul will make it 15 yards. And this is exactly what the red team needs. They need points and they need a little momentum, but this time they can get their backs away from their own end zone and open up the field a little bit.
Make them a little bit more than just being one-dimensional as they have been, so maybe they can switch their plays up a little bit more, kind of fool the defense to keep them off balance a little bit here.
Well, John Bronkhorst, not just the head coach, but also the offensive coordinator for the red team, haven't really seen him try to go to the air just yet as he is content to keep it on the ground, and that's probably why as he rips off a good run right there, does Alexander Rulas, as he gets enough for the first down, it looks.
I think that was a good save and tackle by the defense as well. That play could have gone for a lot more if that DB hadn't stepped up.
Well, you see him on the replay here as he hits the hole, gets a nice seam by the offensive line, and then just does the rest there with that quick burst of speed. Cedric Cornelius Jr.
Yeah, good job by Cedric to make that stop.
Man, a lot of impact players here, Coach. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for Siege Sports just to pick one. As you see Rulas getting the handoff and having to bring it all the way around, but he's hit right from behind by the big defensive lineman, making a big hit from behind. That was, I want to say, yes, it was Matthew Fissette.
Yeah, Matthew. Good job by Matthew.
Fissette, one of those guys that can play linebacker or defensive line, and you saw it right there with his pursuit.
It's good speed for a lineman. Very good speed for a lineman there. That's something that you really look for at the second level here, is that, the kids who can have to use their speed to make not only close in on plays, but make those plays.
1 minute and 50 seconds. You can't teach the speed. You can only harness it.
Can't teach speed.
Faking the handoff is Gonzalez with nowhere to go, trying to get to the outside. That route is closed down in a hurry.
Yeah, that door shut really quickly.
Coming up and making the initial stop, we'll go to Isaiah Humphreys, the defensive back.
Isaiah made a good stop on that, not letting the quarterback reverse his field on him and making him stop him for a loss. So just like we pointed out here a minute ago, red team makes a good positive, on the penalty. They got the 15 on the penalty, and they're starting to go backwards again.
It might not always be the most important thing to make the initial tackle, but you saw him force the quarterback inside with the ball, and that allowed his teammates to come and help make the tackle.
That's exactly what you want to do as a defensive player. If you can't make the play, force them back to the heart of your defense so the rest of your players can make that stop.
3rd and 14. Gonzalez. Quick pass to the outside, and actually that was Bronkhorst who made that pass.
Yeah, they tried the jailbreak screen there. Didn't work. The defense was prepared for it. They were ready for him, stayed at home, didn't sell out, and made the tackle, so forcing the 4th down.
Well, the defensive coordinator, Matt Hennessy, has these kids like Ryan Tolbert, who made the stop, definitely ready to play here this morning. As the clock continues to wind, down to 30 seconds as they bring the punting unit out for Team Red. Not yet time to go for broke just yet, apparently, Coach.
No, just not yet. You still got a whole quarter to play and try to, in a close game. So, no, there's no reason to panic, hit the panic button just yet.
Charles Cirincetti will send this punt away. end-over-end kick, and it will be fielded by the up-back. And with 8 seconds left to go in this third quarter of play, Team Silver will take over at just about the 21-yard line in their own territory.
Okay.
I make it the 19-yard line.
Yeah, I think Silver's going to try to reinstate some dominance here. I think they've really they've had 2 drives that kind of stalled out on one with a fumble and one just with having to kick the ball away. So I think they're going to try to reestablish some dominance here and try to get some points on the board.
Well, we have seen some big plays that could be nominated for the play of the game presented by Shock Doctor. Team Silver looking to make another one, but Team Red could really use one of those big plays on defense. The handoff goes to the running back, and he just slips on the field. Turf Monster got him.
Yeah, that kind of field monster kind of jumped up and made the tackle there, helped Red out.
Deion Locklear, the running back who just couldn't get his feet set, and that was unfortunate because it looked like he had a nice little seam to work with there.
Yeah, he did. He had some room to work with as we have the third quarter expire now.
And that will end your third quarter play. We move on to the fourth and final quarter here in College Station, Texas, and College Station High School. Team Silver in the lead, 13-7 here on USAFootball.com. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be back with more shortly.
I got plans.
I'm going places.
Here I come.
I got plans to pick myself up.
I will gain trust.
I'm gonna earn everything I get. I got plans to command your respect. I've got plans to push my limits. Hey!
I got plans to be great.
Let's go, get in.
Welcome back, folks, to College Station High School in College Station, Texas. We are here in this USA National Developmental game for USA Football. Right now, Team Silver ahead of Team Red 13-7. We would like to see what Team Silver can do here as Team Red needs a big play defensively. It is 2nd down and 10 to start things off here in the fourth. Caleb Pruitt gets hit hard and is very lucky that his offensive lineman was running towards the football and was able to make the recovery. Cameron Wilson there jumping on the ball. Actually, no, it was Anthony Williams who was making the recovery there, Coach.
Very good job by Anthony to keep going with the play and just fall on the ball, not try to pick it up and make something happen, just fall on the play, help his quarterback out there. But good job by Mr. Williams.
Ethan Gullett, though, he was the one that was making that C Sports impact player.
Ethan's a big player out there, made a big hit, caused that fumble.
That could have been nominated for a Shock Doctor play of the game, that's for sure. 11-17 left, and after taking the big hit, Pruitt will go with the pitch. That one fumbled as well. The ball's still loose.
Still loose on the ground there. Who has it? I think Silver may have gotten it back.
And again, another recovery. This time, the big man with the 666 on the back of his jersey, Dason Dade, making the recovery. 2 heads-up plays by the offensive line to keep the ball.
Play, and I think also Silver coaching staff maybe trying to get a little bit too fancy here. They've got to keep with basically what brought them here to this point. They're trying to get a little bit too fancy coming out of their game plan a little bit, and it's kind of showed that a little hurt them a little bit there.
Coach, how much is it of having to make a new game plan for Team Silver, and how much is it of Team Red just making the right adjustments to stop them on defense? Or stop them, Team Silver, on offense.
I think Red has really made the better adjustments here. One thing that you can't change in a game like this is your game plan to the point to where, it confuses the kids because, like you stated earlier, they don't have a whole lot of time to work together. So when you start changing things up, it just really kind of confuses the kids. And so I think you just basically stay with what you got to this point.
Well, as you see, this fourth quarter brought to you by Marriott, the official hotel sponsor of USA Football. This USA Football also brought to you by Siege Sports, the official outfitter for USA Football. Why don't you check on our USA Football Instagram and check out those awesome gloves that Siege Sports has made for USA Football. Everything almost custom made from about head to toe. And then, of course, Physio Control Life Pack Defibrillators, the official defibrillator of USA Football. Red team now with the football, having to run out of the pocket and make some room once again is Zach Bronkhorst. And the coach's son, every quarterback that's been playing for the red team thus far, having to be running for their life, essentially.
For some reason, Red on offense has not figured out that corner blitz that keeps coming. As a matter of fact, you had 2 men that came totally unblocked on that on defense. So Red is going to have to figure it out and make those adjustments on the line to keep those men off his quarterback. Either that, this kid may not be playing this season if if they keep pressuring him like that and keep taking hits. So they got to figure out that corner blitz.
You have to feel for these kids, though, Coach. A good performance definitely necessary here to try to elevate their status to make the U.S. national team and get to the International Bowl. Here's the handoff. And again, not much room to work with as the defense is in there quickly. The first guy getting back there, though, was Eric Scott Buckley, the man out of Austin, able to go through the line and make the initial hit. And that will bring up 3rd down and about 9 to go. Long range play, Coach. Time starting to become a factor here in the 4th quarter with only 9:11 left. If you are Coach Bronkhorst, what do you have to do offensively to get this team going?
Well, offensively, number one, he's going to have to get on his linemen. They're going to have to start dominating this line of scrimmage a little bit better than they've been doing, and also picking up these blitzes that are coming. They're not picking them up at all, and they're having these linemen for Silver having free reign to get in there and just cause pressure on the quarterback.
This time they sent the blitz from the weak side, and it was picked up, and they make the easy pass to the outside. The pass is complete to Robert Ferguson. It's still not enough for the 1st down. Again, with 8:47 left, Coach, is this the time to go for it when you're in enemy territory?
It's definitely time to go for it. You're deep in enemy territory, like you said. You're there, so you've got to go for it here. You're running out of time. You can't keep giving them back the ball at this point. So yeah, he's going to have to definitely make an adjustment on his offense and go for it here.
Well, Coach has his son, almost an extension of himself, on the field in Zach Bronkhorst. And he's going to have to make a big play here as they have trips to the near side and wide open one-on-one coverage to the right.
Still got some confusion out there. They're going to have to take a timeout. They had some confusion on offense. So.
Well, for a minute there, I thought he got the matchup that he wanted. Ferguson was one-on-one with the corner, and Ferguson does have some height. I figured that they were just trying to go with the hot pass out there.
I think they did have the matchup they wanted, but I don't think he had all the personnel out there that he needed. And that was the thing that they've been having a problem on offense and defense, is getting the right personnel in and off the field. So, but as you stated, that's one of the things in the short period of time that they have to work with these kids. Sometimes you're going to have confusion like that.
How much of this mentally do you think has to do with the start time? And it is a 9 a.m. start time. I know a lot of these kids don't usually get up that early. Maybe for practice it's one thing, but in a game situation to play this early in the morning, I'm assuming it does have some effect on the players and coaching.
Game situation, I think, is going to play a somewhat of a part, but not a major part, because these kids know that they're going to have to play some early games, so they prepare for that, and even doing the workouts that they'll be doing pretty soon to get ready for the season. They're going to have a lot of early morning workouts, so they should be prepared for that. Now it's going to have a little bit of an impact if they didn't go to sleep last night and partying last night, so hopefully they just went to bed, but it's going to have a little bit of an impact, but not much of one, Coach.
Oh, we did see everybody having fun after that initial game, and so I assume it was a little difficult to get some sleep. It's difficult for Bronkhorst right now as he's able to outrun the rush, but then he's put out of bounds. He just needed to have thrown that football away and kept
he should have gotten rid of that, because that's one thing to give them that ball way down there is not going to be really helpful. And what Silver did at that point, they came with a zone again because they knew that they were going to have to pass, and he just sent three rushers, and everybody else stayed back in the zone, and that's going to kill your offense every time.
One of my favorite names here, Coach, Xavier Molyneux, making the life difficult there for Zach Bronkhorst. I just wanted to say his name. I've been waiting all game to say it, and that time he made a pretty good play. Molyneux.
Yeah, well, I've been waiting for Silver team. Mitchell Tucrow. I want to call that. I hadn't been able to call Mitchell Tucrow yet, so I've been waiting for him to kind of step up for Silver and do something for us, so we can call that name.
Well, that would be a turnover on downs as the pass is complete.
Job. Oh, good catch.
What?
Good concentration, good catch. I think you're going to have to nominate that as one of your top plays.
That definitely needs to be one of the Shock Doctor impact top plays of the day. Tony Richardson II playing some defense there as he made the hit.
And Mr. Prince with the catch on that ball.
Yeah, Derek Prince again.
Prince, good job, Derek.
He's one of those impact players. One-on-one coverage and a lot of pushing and shoving, but neither player going for the football.
Well, that back judge is calling the pass uncatchable. But that's one thing I really don't like. It's uncatchable if I can't get to it. So, they're going to have to really re-examine that as far as in the offseason, as far as officiating crew, because he called that uncatchable. But if I can't get to the ball, of course I can't catch it.
Well, these referees letting these kids play, we've only seen a few flags here, and that's testament to the coaching and the discipline of these kids. As they passes a little bit of that comeback route and nowhere to go, they actually pitch it. We see some razzle-dazzle trying to make something happen, but Carlton Potter takes the worst part of it.
About 20 yards on that. Number one, the Carlton first thing he should do, first thing you teach as coaches, you head upfield. You don't start running side to side. He was trying to make something happen on that, but still, one of the things he has to do is head upfield. And that ill-advised lateral there could have really been detrimental to him if they'd hit the ground.
Dylan Amliori making the stop after what could have been a very serious turn of events there.
It could have been.
But Team Silver is able to hang on to that football. Sometimes it just looks like luck. He's flushed from the pocket once again. Big hit!
Big hit. Look like Red is kind of taking a page out of Silver's book on defense there. They dropped back into a zone and rushed about 4 men there, and so it really kind of helped them out there. It was a good job by Red.
And you see him on your screen right there, Trent Welch, all sorts of fired up after making that big stop. The Red team coming on a jailbreak blitz, if you will, and was able to get to the quarterback, Carlton Potter. So, again, the Red team bending but not breaking.
Yeah, they're hanging in there. They're hanging in there.
And the game is only 13-7 here in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes and 5 seconds left to go. I was afraid after the turnover that they would lose that momentum, but instead, they have been playing some inspired football. Here's the punt that's going towards the near sideline, and it will be misfielded, but that's where the ball will be placed right before. Well, they'll place it right on the 20-yard line.
It was a good start for them. So let's see what Red can do something after the defense held for them, did a good job and held for them and gave them the ball back. So they've got some time on the clock here, plenty of time to do something with it. Let's see if Red can kind of punch it in here.
Can you run your basic offense with this amount of time? 6:53, you can run it on the ground. If you happen to have a 3rd and long, I mean, do you have to go for it at this point?
At this point, if he can still run his regular offense, if his players go out there and execute the way he wants them to execute, the way they've been trained to execute all week, he can still run his regular offense. Matter of fact, I would stay with that instead of trying to just panic and start passing it, because if Silver thinks that you're going to pass it, they're just going to drop back in the zone and just let you pick. They're going to bend but not break.
Well, Team Silver looking like they're going with a man-on-man defense. That's exactly what that was. And you can
that's the danger that I was telling you about right there. You've got to stick with what brought you here. They're going to pass, and then if Silver's going to jump those routes, and that's exactly what happened there. You're making yourself one-dimensional. Go back with your running game, soften them up with the running game, then go to your pass. But if you're going to go right to the pass right off the bat, Silver's going to jump those routes just like they did there, and it's turned into a turnover.
And we told you to look out for this kid earlier, and he just made that big play you saw right there, Isaiah Humphreys.
Mr. Humphreys. Good job, Mr. Humphreys.
Again, another one of those impact plays, another one of a possible play of the game presented by Shock Doctor. One of those nominations, that's for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to keep that in as a Shock Doctor play of the game.
It's one of those things, though, defensive plays usually have to rely on the offense scoring afterwards to become a big play. Let's see what Team Silver can do with the football. Plenty of time to work with as Pruitt runs up the middle, and he's tackled from behind. On the stop, it was DeAndre Jennings for Team Red. Now, this is Team Red's going to have to dig in there again, Coach, and try to hold the Silver team with their offense not giving them much help. I can imagine that there's some tired football players wearing some red, beautifully custom-made Chiefs jerseys, I should mention.
Yeah, you have the Red team right now. Like I told you earlier, they're keeping their defense out there a little bit too long. And once you start doing that, those big linemen and those guys starting to have their hands on their knees, and that means that they're tired. So you're going to, kind of soften them up there for the offense. So Silver's kind of taking advantage of that. They're gaining yards, positive yards every play, and that's going to hurt the Red team here.
That was Provencher on the run. You saw the double spin. They're probably going to give it to him again. This time he does get it. He was bobbling it as he was running, but able to secure the football late and still get positive yards.
He's got a first down on that. That's just what I'm talking about. That defense is tired, and that offensive line for Silver is just wearing them down right now. They're pounding them and pushing them around right now, and they're just having their will with that defensive line.
And it's kind of weird to say it, folks. I know they're wearing those those Riddell helmets, but even then I can still see the look of frustration with their body language, as this time they're able to stop Preventure behind the line of scrimmage. They're not done yet. That was first and goal. This will bring up second and goal. Javante Oliphant and Joseph Casares around there to make the stop for the Team Red.
Yeah, it was a good stop by the red team, but still think you got fatigue setting in now. They know that their back's against the wall. The offense is, doing what they want to do, so they've got to try to outguess them here.
5 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter play. Team Silver knocking on the door.
Good play. Great play.
Hit. Nicely done. It doesn't get cleaner than that, Coach.
No,
that was a great hit. Lewis Lom, once again, take a bow.
Good job, Lewis.
Let's take a look at it here on the replay, Coach.
We got a flag on the play here. Maybe he was offside, maybe because he made such a great play.
I don't know. Looks like offsetting penalties instead.
Dead ball, offsetting penalties. Oh, dead ball foul is going to be on the red. It's a personal foul. Unsportsmanlike.
That's very surprising. We haven't had any issues like that.
Oh, they doing it because it was a celebration? Come on, God, refs, come on, let the kids play. I hope that's not what they're calling here. I think what they're calling, because when the defensive player jumped up, they may be called an excessive celebration. You got to let the kids enjoy the game a little bit. I didn't think that was over the top there, but they called dead ball personal foul, so they moved half the distance.
Well, these are college refs too, Coach. So
touchdown.
And it doesn't seem, unfortunately, I want to celebrate this touchdown, so let me go ahead and celebrate for Michael Cruz, who gets into the end zone after making a nice, easy catch and waltzes in. But again, the penalty kind of souring the moment, if you will,
right,
unfortunately.
I agree with you. You've got to, let the kids, kid made a big play. He's just jumped up and, just celebrated a little bit. But, you got to let these kids be kids. That's one thing I don't like, whether it's on a high school level or the professional level, when they don't let these guys celebrate a little bit. I understand you don't want things to get excessive where it starts coming to a point where it's a taunting issue, but that was certainly nothing that was, over the top.
No, that was not a taunt, but, the referee called it like they saw it. I'm pretty sure there's a rule. It might seem asinine, but they enforced it, and unfortunately it cost the red team that really needed that momentum. You see a very tired unit leaving the field.
Yeah, you do. They're really tired right now. You see the kids taking their helmets off and kind of walking towards the sidelines. Yeah, that defensive unit is tired right now. They've really been pushed and tested today, and the offense hasn't helped them out a whole lot.
Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. It is a very hot day. You see some umbrellas out there trying to get some what little shade is possible. Even with the overcast here in the state of Texas, that sun and that humidity will just go right through you.
Yes, it will.
We want to thank our hosts here, College Station Independent School District, College Station High School, for allowing USA Football to be here. Everybody that's with USA Football, man, they have done a terrific job, Coach. It feels they've treated us first class. Of course, SUV TV for putting on the production. They've done a great job here today as well.
SUV TV deserves a big hand today. They've done a good job, good job with us today, and I think they're based out of the Atlanta area, if I'm not mistaken. So next time,
Atlanta GA.
If you're in Atlanta, you need your wedding or special event videotape, then give these folks a call because they do a great job.
I know Mark has a penchant for basketball, that is for sure. As we get back to the action here, 4:25 as the red team is trying to make something on offense. Flush from the pocket. I've said that all day. Gonzalez with the run. Gets a good block.
Good block to free his quarterback, and a good nice tackle. Good block and clean block and good sportsmanship by
that was the tight end right there, Jesse Walker. I know not every play of the game could be monumental changing, but, if you want to talk about shock doctor and why you have a mouthpiece, it's for hits like that. Exactly. Nicely done by the tight end.
I'm glad you pointed that out about the mouthpiece and all the equipment that our sponsors have out of, whether it's the Rydell helmets or the shoulder pads or whatever. It's really for the protection of all the players out there, and I like what our equipment people have been doing with protecting the players with these last 5 years now. We're really improving the equipment.
Ooh, a big sack as Gonzalez had to hold on to the football for just a little longer than he wanted to. It was a good stop by Cole Harriff. Definitely, I think it's just because the Silver team has been ahead for the most part in this contest that Cole Harriff has made so many stops.
Yes, he has.
But it's because the red team hasn't been able to score enough points that I think that a little bit of that impact has been a little undersold for Harif because he's been all over the field for them.
Yeah, I said, well, one thing you have, like you pointed out, is that they're, Silver's dropping back in the zone. They know they have to pass, so they're dropping back in the zone, and that's going to free your linemen up to be able to do what they want to do. You can either blitz or stay back in the zone there.
Fumble on the play as he came on that weak side blitz late, and it looks like Team Silver has recovered this football.
Recovered the ball, yes.
And they have. On the recovery for Team Silver, I saw the number. It was number 54. That is Anthony Chavez.
Anthony did a good job of getting penetration in the offensive line there and disrupting that exchange between the center and the quarterback and be able to recover that ball as well. But Red Team is just really, their body language right now as far as offensive and defensively is just really showing that they've really just kind of been just the wind that's kind of taken out of their sails a little bit here.
Yeah, Anthony Charirez came on the blitz late, and then he was the one that recovered the football. The Silver Team with the football once again. Handoff going toward the outside, and he has a lot of room to work with. Outruns the second level, gets all the way to the measuring stick, and that'll be enough for a first down. Excuse me. And I got a little sidetracked there because you mentioned the block, and I saw that, and it was a really good block.
A good block downfield by the wide receiver there for Silver. Boy, that was a great block.
You just never know sometimes because wide receivers are always a little bit of a diva position.
Yeah. That was Alec Austin, a tight end, matter of fact, making that block. Good job. I mean, you're 20 yards down the field, your tight end is making a block on a defensive back. That's exactly what you need to be able to be the next level as far as sports and football here, because he did a good job of not giving up on the play, not thinking that his players, already on his own, but just continue to block downfield until he heard that whistle blow. Good job, son.
On that play, you saw the quarterback get swallowed up by that Red Team defense. Charles Longstreet was the first guy in.
I think at this point, Silver's just trying to run the clock out. They're just running the plays and just saying, hey, let's just let the clock run. They pretty much got the game in hand right now, and they're just trying to just run some things, just keep that clock moving.
Provencher trying to get to the outside.
Tackle.
That could be close as he got his hands inside that collar, but the flag will not be thrown. On the stop, it was Zachary Gilson, the rangy defensive end, showing off some of his athleticism to catch Provencher from behind.
Yeah, I think a little frustration there, tackle there. So he said, I'm not just totally giving up right now as well. He said, I'm going to make some plays if nobody else is.
Well, this is a dress rehearsal, if you will, for a lot of these kids. This is their audition to try to play for and represent the United States at the International Bowl that will be held at AT&T Stadium come late January. Here comes the handoff. Great open field tackle by the defensive back for the Red Team, Charles Barrick. Another one of those defensive players that we have mentioned a lot here today, Coach, but probably hasn't got a lot of love because it's usually the offensive players that take all the credit.
Well, in a game like this, it's been that kind of a battle, but I think Silver has shown us a lot defensively, so they've shown us some things, and you mentioned that they're going to be going to Jerry World for the next level here, and that's going to be a good trip for these kids to be able to play in that stadium and see that, hey, maybe one day I'll be able to play here as a pro and get paid to play here. So I know a lot of these kids are really trying to do a good job with that audition so they can make that trip to Jerry's World.
And it's just so hard with all that pressure. But they do their best with what they're given here, and they're given a whole lot. As this kick little wide to the right, and Team Silver not able to add more points to the scoreboard. But with less than a minute remaining in this contest, Team Red will trot back out to the field, and let's see if they can end this game on a high note offensively.
Something positive, but I like what you pointed out, and the big thing here is not so much winning or losing or even being chosen for the international team. The thing is that hopefully that they're learning some skills. There's some basic skills that are going to follow them the rest of their football careers that are going to make them better players. They're going to make their teams even better when they go back to their home schools. So that's what I like about USA football, that they do a lot of good fundamentals with these kids, and hopefully those characteristics and traits will follow these kids back not only to their schools and their football programs, but the rest of their lives and their character.
Yeah, this is one of those moments that's going to remain with you forever.
Yes, it is.
And this is a great teaching tool, not just for the players and their parents and the fans, but for those coaches as well. That coaching fraternity, you know how it is, so close knit.
Yes, it is.
And this gives you another one of those fraternities to belong to, because not everybody gets to coach with Team USA. As this pass will fall incomplete. The red team was looking for Robert Ferguson, but as you can tell, he was double covered. Good defense once again by Cedric Cornelius Jr., another one of those stalwart defensive players for this silver team. Sometimes defense does win championships, and the defense really did set the tone today.
They definitely set the tone today, and for the rest of this game, Red can expect they're going to get a heavy dose of zone and maybe a heavy dose of some blitzing as well, as they try to, because they're one-dimensional right now. They've got to pass.
They go to the man-to-man defense, but they haven't really called off the Dogs just yet. This pass complete over the middle on the catch. That was Tony Richardson the second, showing off the hands, catching that one in traffic.
Good job by Tony. Good catch, good concentration on his part, knowing that he was going to take a hit, but he held on to that ball.
Blake Milam on the stop for the silver team. Clock continues to run with 30 seconds left in this ball game. 20-7 your score. Team Silver looking to wrap up this one, but the red team trying to come down and get some extra points before it's all said and done. Catch to the outside. Get out of bounds, youngster. And he stays inbounds, and the clock will continue to run, unfortunately. The clock will stop right now as he set the chains.
Lose the chains.
But he was not able to get out of bounds on the reception, and that was Robert Ferguson. So Ferguson having a pretty decent day catching the ball. Tony Richardson the second, another one of those offensive players for the red team that we've seen on defense as well. But a good showing for a lot of these players. Quarterbacks, though, unfortunately for the red team, having a tough time today.
Yeah, I think one of the things goes back, I should have called interference on. I think that receiver was held a little bit by that defensive back, but I guess the referee thought that was a good defense. But I think that kind of goes back to earlier, the high snaps that kind of hurt them, and once they got a lot of positive yards, they would just come back with negative yards that really hurt them all day. So that's things that they've got to work on before they get to the next level and even the next games, as they're working on those snaps, because negative yards are always, of course, going to hurt you.
Coach, I'm glad that you pointed that out, and I'm going to tell you why here in just a little bit. As you have the snap, he fakes it to his left, rolling out to his right. He has a wide open man. There's the catch at the 35. To the 30, he'll be brought down at the 28. With just about 7 seconds left, I expect a timeout to come. Jesse Walker, the tight end for the red team, making a great grab there.
It's a surprise that they will let him catch that deep, being in the zone, and like they were, they let him catch that ball. But it was a good job by the red team to catch the ball. They're going to take a timeout here and see if they can punch this thing on in.
There's your boy Mitchell Two-Crow making the stop.
Mr. Two-Crow making the stop. Mr. Two-Crow, good job there.
I know we don't have a sponsor for best name player, but if we did, I think it would go to Mitchell Two-Crow.
I think so too. I think it was.
Talking about crows, there was a Texas A&M Aggie that played here. Pretty good guy. I think he won the Heisman Trophy, I believe. Yes, he did back in the early times. John David Crow, unfortunately, passing away.
Yes,
but that's exactly what I thought of when I saw that Mitchell Two-Crow. And I was like,
they just passed a couple weeks ago. It was good that you'd point that out, and it meant a lot to the Texas A&M community here. And
they only have 2 Heisman winners, and he was the first.
Well, technically one. No, I don't want the Johnny fans coming up and beating me up now.
7 seconds left as this pass to the outside falls incomplete. But that's the cool thing, though, with things like this, like with USA football, and really not just teaching the game, but teaching the history of the people that came before you.
Exactly.
And we see it year after year with the advancements, but we also see a lot of love for the players that came before.
I agree. And that's one of the things that I think is really important, that we point out the alumni that has really contributed and helped this USA football even advance to the point to where we even have it right now. Really and excited I see as I look out into the crowd, and see, some of the associations from Pop Warner that even represented here watching their kids play at this level.
Yeah, this is a good time had by all. Again, if you are in the area, you're welcome to come down here at College Station High School. The game is free to attend, as it is to view because of our wonderful sponsors, as this pass is complete.
That's a complete pass. Good job.
And that will end the game. Justice Conway, Robert Ferguson making another great catch there, folks. But that will end it. 20-7, Team Silver. coming away with this victory, Coach, and they really just dominated on both sides of the football.
They really did from start to finish. They really did show a lot of character and just forethought in the way they played the game. They were very well coached. They stayed with their game plan, even though they had some setbacks, but they didn't let that thing get them down. They let the red team come and score right before halftime, but they still came right back and still continued to play their game and stay with their game plan, and this one has pulled this game out. But I got to give it to both sides of the offense and defense on Silver. They did a very good job and a very well coached team.
Well, Coach, we were talking about those plays of the game. We had a lot of big plays, but I think we finally selected our Shock Doctor play of the game, and it turned out to become this beautiful catch out of the running back coming out of the backfield. As you see, picture-perfect stuff here. And these kids don't get a whole lot of time to practice with each other, but that catch where he was able to catch it and then got hit and held onto the football, probably one of the best plays we saw in this entire contest.
I have to agree with you there. For that concentration, number one, that receiver knowing that he's going to take a hit, and for him to hold on to that ball is a great play. That's going to really separate him from those who just play the game to those who are going to excel in the game, and that's a really good play on his part, and I have to agree with you. That should be our player of the game.
Well, Coach, again, a very hard-fought game between two teams, but Team Silver coming away with the victory on this end. We're getting ready for our next game coming up. We see everybody dressed in those awesome Siege Sports uniforms, those custom helmets from Riddell, all getting ready to come here shortly. We have a second game. I know you got to be leaving us, though, but I want to tell you thank you again for joining us here, Coach.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully we get a chance to work together again. I really appreciate it.
Definitely so. That was Mark Taplett, everybody, the coach here from Rudder High in College Station, Texas, just located on the outside near Bryan. And again, folks, we want to thank you again for tuning in with us for this portion of our content today here on USAFootball.com. We will have a second game coming up for you around 11 o'clock is the continued start time. But for SUV TV, who did your production work, a fantastic job from them. We'd like to thank our sponsors again, Sports Authority, Marriott, Upper Deck, Riddell, and Siege Sports, of course, Shock Doctor, Gatorade, and St. Vincent Sports Performance. And of course, Wilson, the provider of the football, and everybody else that has contributed to College Station High School for hosting the event, as well as everybody for USA Football who has put in all the legwork to make sure that everybody has everything that everybody needs. I'm the Smash, Justin Simmons. We'll have that second game coming up for you in just a little bit, so stick around.